Hi kids, I'm Shay Kaye and you're watching KidHubFit, where we have so much fun talking about all things food and fitness. You're here in my home gym today and we're going to be talking about just that, a home gym. All of the equipment that you might find maybe even at your own house, or maybe if you go to a friend's house in their home gym. What we're going to be talking about is something different than other types of fitness activities. If you think about fitness, we could be doing fitness or exercise by playing sports like soccer or baseball, maybe basketball, swimming, gymnastics, and so many other types of sports. But what we're talking about here is about growing our muscles through something called resistance training or strength training. This is a type of movement, a type of exercise that we're going to do to help strengthen our muscles to be healthy and strong. This is also something your parents also might do to keep themselves healthy and strong. So we're going to spend most of our time talking about a lot of the equipment that you see here, but first, we're actually going to talk about something called cardio. Cardio is a form of exercise that exercises our heart. I want all of you kids at home, put your hand on your heart. I want you to relax for just a moment, take a deep breath, and hear and feel with your hands your heart. Can you hear it beating? Can you feel it in your hands? Your heart is a powerful organ. It's a powerful part of your body that helps pump blood and oxygen throughout your entire body. You probably felt, if you were just sitting on the couch, or maybe you just woke up from a nap, or maybe woke up and it's morning time, your heart is gonna be nice and relaxed. But if you've been having a lot of fun, you've been exercising, you've been playing on the jungle gym, you've been doing sports, your heart is gonna start beating really, really fast. And the reason why is because our muscles in our body require oxygen and blood to work more effectively. And so by exercising our heart through cardio exercises, we help our body pump our blood and our heartbeat super fast. It's amazing. So here in my home gym, I have what we call a stationary bike. That's what this is called. There's a lot of different types of exercise bikes out there. A couple of other types of exercise equipment that do cardio could be things like a treadmill, maybe even something like an elliptical. That's something where you're grabbing onto the handles and you're moving your arms and your legs. That's a little more low impact. On a treadmill, back to that one, we can walk or we can run. Also, we could do something like a row machine. A row machine uses our full body and we're pulling against resistance to exercise our bodies in that way. There's also something called a stair stepper. This one's kind of silly. It's like a revolving stairs that you're constantly walking on. So all of these types of exercise will increase our heart rate. As you can tell, I'm starting to breathe a lot more heavy because my heart is starting to beat more, which is exactly what we want when we do cardio. The reason we started talking about cardio first is because before we start to exercise, we want to be sure that our body is warmed up. So what that means is we're warming up, doing some form of cardio. We want our heart to be pumping. Maybe we're using cardio equipment. Maybe we're doing something like jumping jacks. Why don't you hop off the couch real quick and join me for some jumping jacks? You could also do something like high knees, or put your hands out in front of you. We're gonna jump real quick and try to get your knees to touch your hands. You can do all sorts of types of exercises without any equipment to get your heart beating so you're warmed up, so you're ready to exercise. A couple of things that I want to talk about first is the difference between a couple of different equipment that we see a lot in a home gym. This right here is called a barbell. A barbell is really long. You can see it right here. You can do different pressing motions. You can even put it on your back like this to do something like a squat. Or it could even be like this on the ground and do something like a deadlift. Those are a couple of different types of exercises that you can do with a barbell. You can tell that the barbell is really long. And also you can see how this part right here is perfect for adding weight to it. Right here, these are some weights that we can add on the end of a barbell. You can see we have 25 pounds, 35 pounds, 10 pounds, and 45 pounds. Right here on my bar right now, I have 10 pounds on both sides of the bar. So both sides here is 20 pounds. And then right here on the bar, we have 45 pounds. So what that means, this bar, oh, I'm out of breath. It weighs 45 pounds. So that's called a barbell. Can you say barbell out loud with me? Barbell. That's right. The reason why I want you to remember barbell is because a lot of the times people get a barbell mixed up with something called a dumbbell. A dumbbell is something where you usually use it in pairs. Not all the time, but sometimes you can. I'm gonna adjust these. These are actually called adjustable dumbbells. So dumbbells, you can actually hold these in your hand like this. So you can do exercises that exercise your arms, like this, or you could do things that focus on your legs, like this. You're adding resistance, which means it's harder to do an exercise holding weights than it is to do without. Just like that. So these are called dumbbells, and this is called a barbell, just like that. So that's the difference. I want to put up a picture right here, what just regular dumbbells look like. Because these, like I said, are adjustable dumbbells. What that means is on my adjustable dumbbells, I can lift these up. Oops, I left the rest of my weights over here. Let me bring them over here so I can show you. What adjustable dumbbells are is they stack up, and I can adjust these to be heavier weight. So this is 18 pounds with the blue, or if I brought it all the way up to the white, that would be 9 pounds, just like that. So they can adjust to different weights depending on where they're set at right here. Back to that picture that I was showing earlier, these have one set dumbbell and it's just that weight. So you might have some 5-pound dumbbells, maybe something as heavy as 55-pound dumbbells or even heavier, and anywhere in between. So that takes up a lot more space. For my home gym, I don't have a lot of room to put those, which is why I just have adjustable dumbbells. When you're using a barbell, it's super important to clamp down your weights using clips. So you can see these right here. These are different types of clips that you might see that we can use to attach our bar or our weight to our barbell. I have little plastic ones right here that slide on and keep our weights from moving from side to side. So you might see something like clips in a home gym. Over here, let's look at some of the other equipment that I have. These are some really big adjustable dumbbells. So the ones that we were looking at, they go up to 24 pounds. These ones right here go up to 55 pounds. And how you adjust it is you turn the handle right here to adjust to the different amounts of weight. This right here is called a medicine ball. You can do different types of balancing exercises. You can sit on them to focus on your core, use them to roll around and do different types of exercises using a ball. Oh, that's a little hard for me. If you remember from my last video, I told you I have a baby in my belly. There's been a baby in there for about 15 weeks. So you'll see my baby grow as you watch more of my videos. Over here, we also have something called a medicine ball. There are medicine balls that are really bouncy, like this one, or there's ones where you could slam them on the ground and they're full of sand and they, boom, they're really heavy. This one right here, as you can see, this weighs 12 pounds and it's a bouncy type of a medicine ball. So let's come over here to some of my other types of equipment you might see in a home gym. Over here we have resistance bands. Resistance bands are super versatile. They can be really long, so we could attach them up here, and we could use these to help us do like assisted movements, like on the pull-up bar up here. This is a pull-up bar. We could use that to give more resistance like this, or not more resistance, to help take off resistance, because when I have this around my foot, I'm a lot lighter, so I can pull myself up and do a pull-up a lot easier than if I were just to be hanging like this. So this is a pull-up bar. You can do a bunch of things from here. You can work out your core. Tricky when I'm pregnant. And then over here, you can do your pull-ups, chin-ups. You can work out all sorts of things. With a pull-up bar, there's a really cool word I want to tell you. Are you ready? Psst. It's called calisthenics. That's a huge word for doing body weight exercises. Calisthenics are super fun. So that's things like pull-ups. You could just do a bunch of different types of variations of things, usually without a lot of equipment. Let's go back to our resistance bands. So over here, we have other types of resistance bands that we could put around our knees, for example. I'm pushing my hips out and I could do squats. That makes it a lot harder on my legs than if I were to have no resistance like this, okay? And so I love that by using a lot of these different forms of equipment, we can add more resistance to get stronger, which can help our muscles feel better, stronger, so we can feel and be more healthy. Here's a couple of other types of resistance bands. These ones are a lot smaller. The different colors usually represent different forms of resistance. So you can see like this one right here. I can stretch this one out really far because there's not a ton of resistance on this one. But if we were to do something like this, this one's a lot stronger and a lot tighter. So depending on the exercise, we'd use a light one or this one that's a lot tighter. So those are called resistance bands. This is a jump rope. I don't think I have enough room to demonstrate a jump rope, but you might have seen this around where you jump and jump around, so that could be another form of cardio. Over here, I want to show you what a yoga mat is. Are you ready? Vroom! This is a yoga mat. People will oftentimes work out on a yoga mat to not only keep their bodies clean, but also a lot of the times, a yoga mat wants to curl up in a ball. A lot of the times, they'll lay on this because it's a lot more comfortable for your knees. They'll oftentimes do things like actual yoga, where we're focused on stretching and mobility and things like that. So that's another type of exercise and strength and mobility that we can do. Also flexibility, that means getting more flexible. Also, if you don't have a big yoga mat, there are little mats that you can use. Like if we're doing something like an ab exercise, like these. These are different types of ab exercises. You know where your abs are? That's right. They're right here in your stomach. So watch this. When I'm not flexing my abs, you can see my baby pretty good. But when I flex my core, I go, and I flex my core, it gets really tight and it actually stabilizes my spine, which is the bones in my back. Helps stabilize my back. So a lot of the times when I'm doing exercises, it's really important to do what we call brace your core. which means to tighten your abs so that we can keep our body nice and straight and stable, so we can keep our body safe when we're exercising. So a couple ways that you can do these. I probably won't be able to do these ones when I'm pregnant, but you're gonna roll out and roll back in to focus on your core. And then this one will actually give you a little more stability on your forearms, and you can roll out and come back in just like that. This is a foam roller. I love foam rollers. Foam rollers are super, super fun for stretching out and rolling out our body. I like to do this after I warm up and before I lift weights. You could even do this as a part of recovery as well. One more other thing that I want to show you, something called cables. This is a cable machine. You might also see something like this, which is another type of a cable machine that's not built into the wall. And so what we do with this one is we can use a cable machine to have resistance to work out. There's different ways that you can see it look, but you can adjust the resistance. You can even adjust where it is on the wall. So you can do different types. I need to lower the resistance. We're gonna make it a little lighter by twisting these weights or adjusting the weight and doing something like this. So we can be so versatile by using cables. There's different attachments like these that you can use holding your hands. So if you come closer, these you can hold in your hands like this and have different grips depending on what you're doing. Or if you wanted to, you could even take this off and switch it out for something like this, where you could do something like this. So you have lots of different types of exercise variations that you can do depending on what attachments you have. You have attachments you can hook to your ankles for different types of leg exercises and things like that. There's so many fun things. There's boxes you can jump onto. There's tons and tons and tons of things that you can do to make your body strong at home. One last piece of equipment that's actually really big. Maybe you might see this in a home gym, maybe not. But this is called a power cage. This right here, it helps not only store my equipment, but it helps me be able to access my barbell. And also when I'm squatting, which was that exercise where I go down, it keeps me safe. So if maybe I can't do it and it's so heavy, and I'm like, oh, that's too hard. It keeps me safe so the weight doesn't crush me. So this is called a power cage. Some people might call it a squat rack. Has pull-up bars and different variations up here. I had so much fun exercising with you today here at my home gym. I hope you learned so much about different resistance training equipment, about cardio equipment, and a bunch of things that we can do to move our bodies at home in order to stay healthy and strong. I hope you join me next time. And parents, if you ever want to get in touch with me, Shay Kaye, you can find me on Instagram, on a bunch of other social media platforms at SHAYHUBFIT. So excited to see you next time. Bye.